Ahoy, cruise enthusiasts. All right, conspiracy time. There's three things that I have often wondered about. Maybe other people have wondered. Well, a couple of them I think they have. So I figured let's just take a few minutes and talk about them. But before we start, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. Does it still turn into a little rainbow thing? I don't really know. I haven't subscribed to a lot of channels recently. I know how that sounds, but it is, of course, free. Why would they charge for it? And don't bother with the bell. I don't do it. I don't have notifications running, and I totally understand if you don't have them either. Anyway, all right, 3 cruise conspiracies that I have been wondering about across all of my travels. Okay, number 1, if you have a drink package, do they intentionally overpour or overserve on the first day to dissuade you from, consuming beverages on your package in the following days? This is something that I have noticed on a couple of different cruises. I know we're all excited on boarding day. We can't wait to board the cruise ship and head to a bar and get that first, a mimosa, martini, chocolate, what do they call it? Chocolate, something or other. Not a chocolate martini, espresso martini, whatever it is you drink, Bahama Mamas, rum punches, right? But after a few, you begin to feel it, and then you think everything is fine, but that first morning on the cruise ship, I don't know, kind of reminds you of college. And you're wondering why, because you don't think you had a lot. I don't think I had a lot, but yeah, I feel a lot worse than I should be. Like I had a lot more than I ordered. And I heard a couple of other people actually mention this in different ways. So I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? It actually would be smart of them, to lean on the bottles a little bit if you have that package, right? Not too dangerous, but, just to maybe affect you a little bit. So the next few days on the cruise, you don't consume as much on your package and they basically get some free money, right? I mean, that sounds like a pretty valid conspiracy, don't you think? I don't know. I'm sure it's just a theory, and I'm sure it's just the fact that I don't drink when I'm on the cruise ship. So yeah, that first day, maybe I do go a little bit overboard on my own, always responsibly though. And I'm sure you do as well. But yeah, has this happened to anybody? Have you felt worse than you should on that first morning on the cruise ship with your drink package? Let us know how that experience went for you. Number 2, why are there never any chips on the cruise ship? Like potato chips, right? I remember, well, y'all know me and my late night Reuben on Norwegian, which used to be served with chips. I think they were just like big bag Lay's chips you can order from Cisco, but they were so delicious. And then one time on, I think it was Odyssey of the Seas, they started giving away bags of chips at the Park Cafe or the Cafe 270, and it caused kind of a ruckus. I think people were actually lined up. I don't know whether this is something special or new or novel, but it was a bigger deal than I thought. And I started to think about it. I don't really ever see chips on the cruise ship. Some cruise ships have popcorn, like Disney has popcorn you can buy and things like that, but rarely do you see chips. And it's kind of like startled me because, well, it startled me, but I think it's kind of strange because, they're potatoes, and at various times during the day, you can get all sorts of French fries, like regular French fries, crinkle cut French fries, seasoned fries, string fries, wedge fries, wavy fries. I've seen all these. During breakfast, you can get hash browns. Are there hash browns available any other time? I don't know. Wedge cut. There's also wedge cuts on Carnival at some place, right? Then you can also get baked potatoes. They have baked potatoes in the buffet and in the dining room and places like that. So yeah, all different kinds of potatoes, but there's never any chips. And they're pretty easy to make. They already have the fryers. They already fry a bunch of food. So why can't they fry up some chips? I can definitely see some, cruise branded spice mixes. I mean, could you imagine actually, if I ever sailed them again, I think this would be pretty darn good. Like, Carnival spice, deep fried chips. No, kettle chips. There you go. Carnival spiced kettle chips. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I think that would be amazing. Or am I just missing something? Are there chips like all over the buffet and I'm just not seeing them? Okay, that's, what? There you go. That's something. Let everyone know in the comments if there are chips in the buffet and I just haven't seen them, because I haven't. And, I like crunchy things, and I want some cruise ships. I want some chips on my cruise ships. All right, number 3. Do the cruise lines skip ports to save money? Or more specifically, do they skip port sometime to make more money? For instance, if shore excursion bookings are a little bit soft and, it's just not going to be worth it for the cruise line and the operator, right? Because they got to, stage a whole bunch of infrastructure to get people out there. But if not enough people are booking excursions, maybe it's just not worth it for either side to, dock the ship. Or maybe there's other constraints involved. Maybe there's something going on. Maybe there's extra taxes or fees or something like that. And they just decide they don't want to pay it this time. So they look at the books and they're like, well, it's going to cost us more to, dock here as it would if we just stayed at sea and, kept the casino open, kept all the bars open, did all the crafts, the spa, everything, right? Because they make a heck of a lot of money on board the cruise ship on those sea days because everything is open. Everything that you could spend extra money on is open when the ship is at sea, not so much at port, right? I mean, even if it's just weather, right? They might cancel it a little bit ahead of time, or they might not say until that morning. They get close, but not close enough because they were saving fuel because of weather or wind or whatever. I think there's some definitely some times when this would make a lot of sense, where it makes, just financial sense. They look at the current books and they're like, what, we can make more money if we just, stay out at sea versus having to spend, the money, to head into port. And they gotta pay the longshoreman and everything like that. I don't know. Do you think that's a valid conspiracy theory? Do you think the cruise lines actually make these decisions ahead of time and decide to skip a port because they can make more money on board? I don't know. It makes a little bit of sense to me. All right, 3 cruise conspiracies that I have been wondering about. What are your cruise conspiracies? What do you think the cruise lines might be doing, or might be deciding, in the back room without telling us? I don't know. I would love to hear from you, and maybe we'll talk about them on a future episode. So go ahead, leave that comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and like while you're down there. And if you are, stuck at sea because the cruise line, thought they could make more money in the casino, I definitely hope to see you out of the cabin. But not in the casino. It'll probably be on a water slide or something.